Et salut à tous, bienvenue dans cette interview avec le développeur de FreePulse et de PulseHotlist, Viktor. Hello Victor,
Hey man, how are you? Glad to be here.
I'm really glad to be that you are here in my show. We try to expand here knowledge in crypto with the French community, and I really have to say that I love your work. I mean, not only on the dev side, but also about the design of your websites. You're a huge asset for the community, and I wanted to thank you first.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And we actually have gotten a lot of like different opinions on stuff like the design. So we just recently, for example, made a poll on our Twitter, which is Twitter at PulseHotlist. And I think like 90% liked the design and 10% really hated it. So I guess there's no case where everybody's happy, but I think overall the design is fine, especially of PulseHotlist, and I'm really happy with it personally.
Okay. Okay. So before we start to discuss the project, I want to focus a bit about you. Where do
Okay.
you come from? I mean, you don't have to dox yourself, obviously, but socially, and what's your story, basically?
So I've been in crypto in general for quite some time, from Europe, and like a year ago or so, I started to build a lot of stuff in the HEX and PulseChain ecosystem together with my co-founder Felix. He's also an OG Hexagon. We are both pretty active in the community, so a lot on Telegram and Twitter and so on. So a lot of people in this ecosystem already know us,
Mhm.
and yeah, we're just continuing to build cool
Cool.
stuff.
Um, so when did you first hear about crypto, really?
It was like when BTC was around 300 USD, so
Oh,
fairly early,
yeah, a
a
long
couple of
time
years
ago.
ago.
May
But actually, I know a lot of people
2014
even
or
way earlier. So this friend of mine showed me this faucet, so essentially a website where you were able to claim free Bitcoin every hour.
Mhm.
It was also called Free Bitcoin, and the domain was like freebitco.in. And you were just able to claim a couple of satoshis every hour. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So what is this Bitcoin thing? And first of all, of course, like I had no idea about it. I had to learn a lot, but then at some point I really grasped the concept and I liked it. And since then, I'm in.
Yeah, and that gave you the idea for free pulse somehow, maybe.
Exactly. So I really don't like the onboarding experience of Pulse because to get your first PLS, you will have to go through an exchange. You will
Mhm.
have to register there, give them all of your personal data. You have to send them your government ID and selfies and your address and all of this stuff. Then it takes days to process that. And then you have to send them your money.
Yeah,
And if you're really lucky, maybe 1 to 2 days later, you will get some Ethereum out, and then you will have to bridge that over to Pulse, and then you will have to swap your bridged Ethereum into PLS. And like even very advanced crypto users might not be able to do that. So try
yeah,
onboarding new people with this process.
and
So you
and
need a better onboarding tool, right? And we built essentially, I guess you could call it a fork of free Bitcoin, but just better logo, better design, better experience, easier to use, far more users, far faster onboarding,
yeah,
and just a way better product, right? Better ref system, better chat, better games. Um, and essentially, free Bitcoin was like the one big platform that drove all of the traffic and all of the new users into the Bitcoin ecosystem years ago. And it had millions of users, and it just actually started to grow the Bitcoin ecosystem to a point where a lot of people actually knew about it. So before then, it was just like a bunch of cryptographers and maybe some gamblers, but nobody else was using it, right? Because there was no onboarding. There was no message of like, buy Bitcoin because of this and that. You need
Yeah.
this message of claim free money every day and or every hour without any downside or any risk. This is really powerful because why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you go there every hour and claim your free money?
Yeah, true.
So we need something like this for Pulse to actually onboard millions of users into the ecosystem. And we built that, and it's free and no risk and no downside. So we're already better. You can go to freepulse.io right now, play around, you will grasp the concept. Then once mainnet is actually out, we'll switch over and you'll be able to actually claim real PLS every hour for free.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will have other questions for FreePulse when we really enter the subject. But first, I wanted to ask you. You talked about KYC, and I thought like it seems for you, Viktor, anonymity is very important. Where does that come from?
It's just OPSEC concerns, right? So everybody knows that I'm a day one hexagon.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can imagine that I did pretty well financially. And I don't want people in real life to recognize my face and think, oh, that guy got a lot of money. Maybe let's do something bad to him. So I just don't see the advantage in that. And I would rather that people judge me by the software that I built instead of how my face looks.
I see. But there's also like something powerful in the fact of being recognized. Like we can brand your product with your face, and we can also judge your actings with what you're doing.
Why would you have to judge that?
I
And why
know.
would you judge my actions based on how my face looks? Please
That's
judge me by the code I write, not my face.
That's true. That's what we're doing tonight. But I mean, it's a choice. It's a choice of revealing what you want to do or not. My other questions is like, why do you like crypto?
Why do I like crypto?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really interesting. It keeps me challenged. I do this 12 hours a day. It's my full-time job. And I've been working in the space for many, many months now. Actually, I think by now it's years. You would call it years. And it's just a really interesting topic, right? Because it's a combination of money, philosophy, economy, psychology, and
Anonymity too.
yeah, like it's all of these different aspects that you could like almost philosophically look at it and think about what this will mean for our society in the future, where it's already put the society in the 13 years that Bitcoin existed now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's the most interesting social experiment that we've ever seen so far.
Okay. My community wants to know how did you hear about X and Richard?
I found him on YouTube. So a couple years ago by now.
Yeah.
I've seen it on YouTube. I really liked the stuff that he said. He seemed very smart to me. And so I pretty much heard about HEX when he first talked about it on his channel. At that time, it was called BitcoinHEX. And I didn't really like the idea that much. But once actually the game theory was laid out and grown into this really interesting and awesome thing, I was really intrigued by it. And I thought, what the heck, give it a shot.
All right. And when is the exact time where you said to yourself like, I need to work and build things for this ecosystem? What was the shifting point?
So for all of the products that I built myself together with Felix, probably maybe 2 or 3 months after the announcement of PulseChain,
Mm-hmm.
when we were waiting for like the next testnet version, and of course the mainnet. Then I was really actually thinking about the onboarding process, and I was really worried because the whole process of getting your hands on your first PLS seemed incredibly hard to me. Like, I tried to onboard people in real life that I know into crypto, and
Mm-hmm.
just getting them like some ETH, and they already have to set up MetaMask on their computer and like write down their seed phrase and register at an exchange.
Yeah.
They weren't able to do this by themselves. Like, I had to really explain to them to a point where I actually realized how hard this stuff actually is. Like, for all of us people who've been in crypto for quite some time, like using MetaMask and like using Uniswap and I know staking Hex, all of this seems pretty normal to us, and it doesn't really seem complex to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a whole new world for everybody outside of crypto, and it's super, super hard to actually onboard people who never like used MetaMask before. This stuff is hard, man. It's way more complex than we all think. And now the problem with Pulse is there might not be an exchange in the beginning. Of course, by now there has been announced that at least one big exchange will support PLS from the beginning. That's great, and makes the process easier, but it's still bad, right? You still have to go through KYC and register yourself and send them your money, a centralized party. So this isn't great. And like at the time when we decided to build Free Pulse, the whole complex was even a more complex process, right? So because you need to use Ethereum, you need to use the bridge, you need to use PulseHEX to swap into PLS, and like this is way too complex to onboard new people. So we just needed some better way to do this.
So how can we explain that some other crypto they don't really develop this kind of faucet?
I'm sorry, can you
Like
I don't
for
get the question.
for Bitcoin there was some faucets, but
Yeah.
there are many other crypto where you don't have this kind of faucet.
Well, they're not as big as BTC, right?
Yes,
BTC is
I know,
totally
but like
unlike.
PulseChain isn't out yet, and still it exists. Practically, it exists through Free Pulse.
Yeah. So I think that freemium is a really, really great onboarding tactic.
Yeah,
Possibly
true.
the greatest. Like, I think it's even better than a referral program and stuff like that, because this promise of free money just gets the
Yeah,
most people onboarded the fastest and the easiest, right?
that's
It's
true. It
probably
beats
the most
everything.
expensive way, but it's also like the most efficient way. And it really, really worked out great for Hex. Hex had a freemium, Pulse hasn't.
Yeah.
Hex also had a referral program, Pulse
Hmm.
has not. So that's one part of like the whole free Pulse platform, the referral system. Like, we need to build this stuff around Pulse to actually make it in such a great product that we can onboard millions of users.
Yeah. Yeah. And this free claim function, I
Yeah.
can call it like this. Is it really like a faucet, or it's a bit different technically?
Well, we gamified it a little bit, because if we just gave out a static amount of like 5 PLS an hour, that'd be pretty boring and not exciting, and people wouldn't talk about it. And even if they would use it maybe like 2 or 3 times and then just go away and don't care about it. So we slapped some game theory on top of it. The actual free claim function itself works like this: you solve a captcha to prove you're not a bot, and then you get a lucky number, we call it, which is just a random number between 1 and 10,000. And based on this number, you will get some amount of PLS. So maybe you will get 1 PLS or 1 USD worth of PLS or 200 USD worth of PLS. That's the maximum. So it's always up to 200 USD worth of PLS per hour.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, it's live on the testnet. You can go there right now, freepulse.io, play around, and you will get the concept. This kind of like lucky number, and like, it's not really gambling because you can't lose anything, but you can try your luck every hour, right? So
Yeah.
even if you just get 1 PLS, you can try again in 60 minutes and maybe you'll get 200 USD. So this kind of gamification, game theory stuff makes it a lot more interesting. And then we build features around it, right? We built a chat referral program. We built like an XP system, a level system, mini games, stuff like this, just to make it more interesting and a little bit more fun to play around with the platform and essentially get sucked into the whole PulseChain ecosystem. Because like that's the higher goal, right? We want to get as many people as possible into the Pulse space, and of course this will also pump all of our PLS bags in the end.
Okay.
So it's just a net positive for the whole ecosystem.
So this idea of mini games, it came right away, or?
Like in the beginning, we were just essentially brainstorming what kind of features we want to build, and FreePulse, which was the original inspiration, Free Bitcoin, sorry, that also had like this tiny mini game of essentially just betting some satoshis and choosing a multiplier, and maybe you get some more, maybe you lose some. So like the super most basic version of any game you could imagine. And we just thought of some more fun games, essentially gambling games, that we were able to build, like 5 or 6 so far, a little bit voting. So there will always be a different selection of games available just to keep it more interesting. But like this whole gambling stuff is also really important to us to disclose this responsibly. So for example, if you want to play a minigame for the first time, you will see a big disclaimer on why we offer the minigames and when you shouldn't play. For example, if you're already gambling addicted, please do not touch those minigames because you might lose more money than you actually want.
Yeah.
But if you're like able to gamble responsibly, maybe with like $10 or have some fun with friends or whatever, have fun. And of course, like only if you're 18 plus, and yeah, just gamble responsibly, please.
That's nice that you've covered these things, because I mean you were not obliged to do that. I also have another question about other tools that you have developed. For example, CustomHEX and HEX.pink. How come that this happened after? I think it came after, right? After FreePulse.
So actually, CustomHEX was launched before FreePulse,
Okay.
and HEX.pink was just like relaunched maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So CustomHEX.com is a really, really useful browser extension. So we all know the go.hex.com frontend, the primary frontend for Hex, and it sucks. It's outdated.
It's true.
Ugly.
It's old and gray.
Yeah. So we built an extension to make this front end better. So it like you still need to use the front end, you still need to have MetaMask installed, but you can install also the CustomHEX.com extension to make the front end a little bit nicer. So of course visually it looks nicer, all of the outdated stuff gets removed, but also it adds functionality. So for example, you can look at other addresses, right? So usually on go.hex.com, like you can't search for an address. You can only connect MetaMask to it. So you can only look at the addresses that you actually own. But what if you want to like track the stakes of a friend or the God whale or the Maximus stake or whatever?
Yeah.
CustomHEX allows you to do that. So it allows you to make like this little address book. You can also add like a name tag to addresses and then just click through them and have the look at the stakes of any hex address ever. And
That's nice.
So,
It's like a SpyX.
yeah, kind of like, it just adds super basic functionality to the front end that should have been there in the beginning. And it's like it's free, no ads, it's open source. So it really helps the ecosystem.
It seems very difficult, but do you think we could develop like a tool to spy things and like to try to find things between transactions and anomalies.
What do you mean by anomalies?
Things that aren't right. I think I just translated from French. Sorry, just let me check. No. Anomalies, irregularities.
Yeah, but like
if
somebody nukes a stake or
yeah, something like that.
I think Staker app currently has like a feed of recent global transactions that happen in HEX. So, for example, if somebody stakes a lot or unstakes a lot or emergency unstakes, but like the whole front end story isn't over by now because we still don't really have a really great front end. So
yeah,
the go.hex.com front end, as I said, it sucks, and CustomHEX helps out a lot, but it's still not perfect. Like there's a lot of missing functionality actually.
And after all this project, because we will talk also about PulseHotlist, but how you didn't have you had enough work with FreePulse. Why did you choose to build and build and build? How many devs work in your team?
I'm not gonna tell that, but like just know we have the dev power to pull all of this off. And I really like and I would really urge anybody in the space to only invest in stuff where you can actually be sure that the team has the power and the financial resources to pull their vision off. So if it's only hopes and promises, the team probably doesn't even know how expensive this kind of stuff is to build, right? So if you want to build, say, a smart contract, just basic functionality, you still need to hire a dev. That's a good dev, probably 6 figures a year. Then you have to get your stuff audited. That's another 30, 40K, depending on the auditor. And then you just have a smart contract, right? You still need the front end and all of the stuff around it. So building stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
And you need the financial resources and the management skills and the dev skills to actually pull things off. And this is so great about all of our projects because they already work like PulseHotlist, FreePulse, CustomHEX, HEX.pink. You can use all of them right now, play around. They're all live on the testnet. They all work great. And like if every kind of like SAG phase or dedication phase or whatever, anything that you could somehow invest in, we always build the product first. So you can always be sure that the stuff actually works and we have the resources to pull off our vision or whatever we are like laying out on some kind of roadmap.
Yeah. So you're more than a dev, you're a project manager and a CEO.
Yeah.
That's a lot of titles.
I mean, I still have Felix to help me out.
Yeah.
He also does a lot of work, but more like behind the scenes stuff. So a lot of community management and all of the legal stuff. So like the basic, what you kind of call that, like the basic split between all of the stuff we have to do. I do the dev stuff, he does the legal stuff, and like everything in between, we're just sharing or whatever kind of stuff we have to get done.
Okay. And so how came the idea of PulseHotlist?
That's also easy. Like there's a lot of stuff being built on PulseChain, but you don't know about that.
Yeah, true.
You don't know what kind of stuff is being built and who builds it and how reputable which project is. So we need some kind of central hub of information to actually see what's going on and what's getting built. Like there's a lot of amazing stuff being built on and around PulseChain, but we need like some kind of central database platform, whatever you want to call it, to collect all of this data and just see what's going on one centralized hub.
Yeah, I have to say that I thank you for PulseHotlist, but at the same time, it's a nightmare because at my last live stream, I had to like review a bit all the projects. And man, I spent so much time and I didn't have, I haven't finished to review all of it. So,
I mean, we already have, I think we started initially like 1.5 months ago, maybe with 30 projects.
yeah.
And by now, I think we have almost hit 100. And there's still dozens of applications that we haven't processed yet because like there's just so much demand to get listed. And getting listed is free. It just takes some time for us because we have to review each project individually and apply our in-house PHL score formula to it and gather all of the data.
Hmm.
So listing takes time, but we're getting there. And like since launch, we already listed maybe 60 projects or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of stuff on there.
yeah, true. PulseHotlist is really central. I mean, in the ecosystem, because if we didn't have that, how could we just check or just have some information about the ecosystem?
Exactly. Like you always need platforms that build on the base protocol. So, for example, for the internet, we need Google to find things and to
Mm-mm.
see what's going on the internet. Otherwise, we wouldn't know which websites to go to. And for Ethereum, we need something like Etherscan, where we can paste in addresses and see what's going on
Yeah.
and what we can look at or what coins are being built or whatever. And for PulseChain, we also need something like this. Like we need some kind of ranking site or whatever, or
Hmm.
some hub of information to see what's going on. And we built that with PulseHotlist.
Yeah. Yeah. So on PulseHotlist, the sacrifice phase, I think it's over, right?
Yeah, just ended like 3 days ago.
Okay. But not for triples, right?
So the free pulse dedication phase, we call it, to
Mm-hmm.
separate it a little bit from all of the other sacrifice stuff. That's gonna start probably when the mainnet comes out, and then maybe go on for about a month, but that's not set in stone yet. And there are already like 3 different pools who already started collecting some crypto to then dedicate it once the dedication phase actually ends. So the dedication phase hasn't started yet, but there are already some pools that started
Mm.
collecting money.
Okay. And if I have to explain this to my audience, how can I tell them, like, are the pools all trustworthy or?
Um, I think so. Like the biggest pool is operated by the Magic Carpet Ride guys. They have
Mhm.
like a big YouTube channel, like 4K subs, 2 guys, and I think they're trustable. So um, you're probably fine to join that pool if you want. Of course, you can also wait until the dedication phase actually starts. There's no disadvantage in that. There's also one pool called freepulsepool.com that's operated by a Portuguese lawyer called Tiago. And that pool is actually trustless. So the key to it is only held by me and Felix. So Tiago can't run away with the money, but like he still operates it and manages it and answers all of the questions. So
That's nice.
if you want like 100% security, just join that pool. That's
Hmm.
freepulsepool.com.
I didn't know a pool could be trustless.
Yeah, it's actually a really great concept. So we also did that for Maddie Orland's pool for PulseHotlist.
Okay.
And we are currently talking to Maddie and like answering some questions. And so if he wants to maybe open the trustless pool for free pools also. Like it's great because you don't have to trust any third party, but you can still join the pool and get a higher volume bonus and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So no disadvantage in that.
Oh, nice, nice. Um, so what's next?
Next is waiting for mainnet, and until then, we're gonna keep on building a little bit on free pools in the background, but actually releasing and announcing new features, we're only gonna do that on mainnet because then it's not that hard to wait for it. Like if we would announce all of the cool stuff that we already built and it's already done but not public yet right now,
They get
then
bored.
yeah, exactly. And like there's some pretty exciting stuff that we're building. So if we'd announced it yet, it's probably just wouldn't be harder to wait for mainnet. And regarding PulseHotlist, we're going to do some maintenance, UI updates, and listing a bunch more projects. Regarding CustomHEX and PRC20s.com, which is also a project of ours, they're working great. There's no need to build on those until mainnet. And like the next big thing, the next big announcement is going to be regarding to HEX.pink. The ETA on that is like maybe 2 months, and like my my ETAs are actually pretty great. So it's not just this 1 to 2 months that we know from PulseChain.
Oh yeah.
1 to 2 years, but I think actually like 2 months could be it. That's got to be some pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, we'll just keep building.
Okay, so no other project. No other token.
I think we already have like 10 different projects and 3 tokens or so.
Okay.
Like the important thing is that all of the projects and tokens have a different use case, so they can coexist, right? So
yeah, true.
For example, we have FreePulse, that's an onboarding tool in casino. We have PulseHotlist, that's a ranking site. We have CustomHEX, which just adds basic functionality to the Hex frontend. We have PRC20s.com, which is
yeah, we tried that on
balances on the mainnet.
Yeah,
we
it's
have
nice.
HEX.pink, which is a calculator. So we're never going to build another ranking site. We're never going to build another like casino. We're never going to build another meme coin. Like we're just building new stuff with different functionalities, so they're not rivaling each other.
Talking about rivaling, what do you think about PulseBot?
I think it's okay. Like there were some controversy between our projects, but we talked to Jacob, the owner of that, and we made peace. And I think this is just the best way for the ecosystem. If not everybody's hating each other, and yeah, just respect each other's work. I think Jacob is a pretty great, pretty competent guy, pretty good dev, and yeah, I think it's okay. I think it helps the ecosystem to grow further.
Nice. That's great news. Well, I think that's it. I don't have any more questions. Do you want to say something to the French community, or?
I can show my stuff.
That's nice.
Follow us on Twitter at FreePulse.io and at PulseHotlist.
Yeah.
Go to freepulse.io right now, play around. It's fun. And if you're able to claim like 200 USD on mainnet and Pulse does 10,000x, just like Hex did, then you just got $2 million for free. So
yeah,
don't want to miss out on that. Go there, play around right now. Go to PulseHotlist.com, browse around, discover new stuff in the space. Go to HEX.pink, calculate your Hex stakes, see what's actually going on with your stakes. Install CustomHEX.com to track the stakes of any address. And yeah, just stay tuned. We have a lot more exciting stuff to come.
Yeah. I've already showed most of your tools, actually. People really like it. And I will do, obviously, more videos about FreePulse and PulseHotlist because they are great. Thank you very much, Viktor, for coming here and having some time with us. Thank you for all what you're doing, and I hope we'll talk soon.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye.